Hello, today I'm going to show you how to create punchy black and white images in Lightroom with a few clicks using some presets that simulate the old style black and white films. My name's Clive Gidney from clivegidneyphotography.com, photography made simple. So let's jump straight over to Lightroom. So here we are in Lightroom, and this is an image that I took in the Birmingham street market. I think this guy was selling materials, and he's got some sort of book there that he's showing a potential customer how they can be used, I think. So when I want to create black and whites, and I often do this for street photography, the first thing I do is I go over to the basic adjustment panel and I hit the auto button just to see if that improves things for me. And let's just undo that. Yes, we can just see that it gives it a bit more brightness, a bit more punch. So that's the first stage to do that. And then we go to these film type presets that I have created to simulate the old films like Kodak Panatronic, there's Ilford Delta, Kodak T-Max, Ilford FP4, Ilford HP4, and some very fast films as well. So those of you that were brought up in the film days will recognize many of those, and the numbers in front of them, the 32, 50, 100, etc., are the ISO or ASA numbers that those films would have had. And generally speaking, the smaller the number, so the 32s, the 50s and the 100, the more fine grained the emulsion profile in the film was. And when you get up to the 400, 1600, 3200 speed films, then they get quite grainy, and I'll show you how that affects your images and what you can do about it if you like it or don't like it. So just by hovering over these presets, we can see the effect that it has and how it the different black and white films had different sensitivities to different colors. You can see this one, the Ilford Pan F, where that bolt of cloth here is red and it's less sensitive to red, so the Ilford Pan F, it's showing that as darker. And we scroll down the Agfa. I tend to, for my street photography, like the either the Ilford Delta or the Kodak T-Max. The Ilford Delta tends to give you a slightly brighter image. The Kodak T-Max gives you a more even range of tones. So I'm going to select that one for this image. I'll click on there. And then if you want to do any fine tuning, you can do. You can increase the contrast a bit if you want. I don't think it needs it in this case. We're about there. You can also add vignettes or whatever else you want to do, but there straight off the bat we've got a pretty nice black and white image with a full range of tones from black to white. So often I see people creating black and whites and they're often just dark grey to light grey, and it makes a pretty good image. If we just zoom into 100% on that, you can see there's not a lot of grain on that film there, which is what you would expect with a 100 ISO film. So let's just go back to another black and white one here. This is a shot that I took in Spain a couple of years ago. There were all sorts of street artists, either they were painting or this guy's doing charcoals. Some people were doing pen drawings or cartoon styles. And again, let's just hit the auto and see what that does. To me, that makes that a little bit bright, so I'm just going to undo that, Control Z. And we'll keep that one as it is. And again, we can just go down and you can see how some of these different film simulations give you different toning, particularly for the, if you look at the girl's face, because of their sensitivity or otherwise to the warm tones of the skin. I quite like FP4's a bit bright there. Let's try the Agfa, let's try the Kodak Tri-X there. Now it's made the white piece of paper here a little bit bright, so I'll deal with that in a second, but let's just zoom in on that, and you can see this one is more grainy than some of the other ones. Now what I've got down here is a grain remover preset, so if I click on that or hover over that, you can see it removes the grain from the image. If you like your images really grainy, then you can add more grain to that, or you can dial the grain back so it's finer, as you wish. I think for this image, as it's a picture of a young girl, we want a fairly fine grained image, so I'm going to choose the ISO 50 grain there, and then I'm going to quickly going to create a mask with a brush here, and I'm going to auto mask. I'm just going to dial back the brightness of this guy's pad here by brushing over there with the auto mask like that. And then if we go down to our adjustments and just take the highlights back, there we are, and we've now got the image. And there you have it, quite a nice punchy black and white with a good range of tones in it, that you can see there. So that's a couple of examples in street photography. Here I have got a landscape. This is up in the Lake District. This is Coniston in the background. Let's just close the mask panel there. This is Coniston in the background with just a bit of dusting of snow on the top of it. Again, let's hit the auto button. That's made it quite bright. I think we'll just take the brightness back a bit there before we go to the black and whites. And typically you'd find the lower speed would be the sort of film that people would have used in those days for landscapes. And you can see how the different formulations give you different, if you look at particularly at the sort of the green and brown tones on this hill here, how they become brighter or darker depending on which formulation you use. I quite like that, so we'll go with that one, the Ilford Delta. Let's just have a look at the grain on that. Fairly fine grained, and that's what we want. I'll even take the grain out completely on that. And there again, you have a nice black and white with a full range of tones and just a couple of clicks. Another image here from the Lake District. This was on a misty morning. This, I think, is, was it Buttermere or Derwentwater? I can't remember. Let's just see what auto does for us here. That darkens the image down a bit, and I can see why it's done that, but I actually quite like the lightness of that, which emphasizes the mist. So Control Z will undo that. Let's just have a look at some of the you see the very fast films here. It tends to blur out the detail. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. That's the Agfa APX. What was the other one I had? I just want to retain this hint of the trees in the background, whereas some of the formulations like that FP4 there almost disappear. So I think I will go for the Agfa APX there, but I don't want 400 ISO grain. I'll only have 50 ISO grain, and there we have a very quick black and white, very simply done. So there you have it. That's how I create punchy black and whites in just a few clicks in Lightroom with some film style presets. If you'd like a set of this film pack, then leave me a comment in the box below this post, and I will send you a link where you can download those absolutely for free with instructions on how to install them for Lightroom. That's it. Bye for now.